What if I told you that the Social Security Administration claims they're saving $100 million from fraud? But the math doesn't add up. And this misinformation might be setting the stage for massive cuts to your benefits. In this video, we're going to expose the truth behind these fraud claims, break down the real numbers, and reveal why these misleading statistics could be used to justify privatizing Social Security, putting your future retirement at risk. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot these deceptive tactics and understand what's really happening with your Social Security benefits. Welcome to Financial Area, where we cut through the financial noise to bring you the truth. If you want to stay informed about threats to your financial security, smash that like button and subscribe for more eye-opening content. Let's start with the elephant in the room. The Social Security Administration has been throwing around some pretty impressive numbers lately. They claim they're saving $100 million annually through their efforts to combat waste, fraud, and abuse. On the surface, that sounds like a massive victory, right? Well, not so fast. When you put this $100 million figure into perspective, it tells a completely different story. The Social Security Administration disburses approximately $1.6 trillion annually. Let me put that into context for you. That $100 million represents less than 0.01% of total payments. To put it another way, if Social Security spending was $1, this so-called fraud would represent less than a penny. But here's where it gets interesting. Most of this alleged fraud isn't even fraud in the traditional sense. We're talking about direct deposit overpayments that occur when beneficiaries pass away and the Social Security Administration isn't immediately notified. This isn't criminal masterminds stealing millions. It's administrative lag time causing temporary overpayments. Think about it logically. When someone dies, there's often a delay between the death and when all the relevant agencies are notified. During this gap, automatic payments continue. The family might not know they need to report the death immediately, or there might be bureaucratic delays in processing the information. This isn't fraud. It's a system inefficiency. Now, here's where the story gets even more suspicious. The Social Security Administration has reported cases of people over 150 years old still receiving benefits. Yes, you heard that right. 150 years old. If that doesn't scream data quality issues rather than massive fraud schemes, I don't know what does. These aren't criminal enterprises. These are database errors that haven't been cleaned up. The real question we should be asking is, why are these numbers being presented as major fraud victories when they're actually highlighting system inefficiencies? And more importantly, why now? This brings us to the political dimension of this story. There has been a decades-long campaign to convince Americans that Social Security is broken, bankrupt, or unsustainable. By amplifying fraud claims, even when they're minimal or mischaracterized, it creates a narrative that the entire system is fundamentally flawed. This narrative serves a very specific purpose. If the public believes Social Security is riddled with fraud and waste, they're more likely to support radical changes to the program. And what's the most radical change being proposed? Privatization. The idea of handing over Social Security funds to Wall Street has been a conservative dream for decades. But here's the truth. Social Security's financial challenges have nothing to do with fraud. The program faces long-term funding questions due to demographic changes. More retirees relative to workers, not because criminals are stealing billions. By focusing attention on relatively minor administrative issues and calling them massive fraud, we're being distracted from real solutions to real problems. The misinformation doesn't stop there. When media outlets pick up these fraud stories, they often fail to provide crucial context. Headlines screaming about $100 million in fraud grab attention. But they don't mention that this represents a fraction of total spending. The result? Public perception becomes skewed, and support for Social Security erodes. This matters because Social Security isn't just another government program. It's the financial foundation for millions of Americans. For many retirees, it's their primary or only source of income. When we allow misinformation to damage confidence in the program, we're playing with people's lives and financial security. So what should we demand instead? Transparency. Real transparency. The Social Security Administration needs to provide detailed breakdowns of what they're actually finding. How much is actual criminal fraud versus administrative errors? How much is recovered versus prevented? What specific measures are being implemented to improve efficiency? We need concrete numbers, not vague claims about waste, fraud, and abuse. If there are legitimate fraud concerns, let's see the evidence. If there are system inefficiencies, let's address them with better technology and processes, not dramatic rhetoric about criminal conspiracies. The truth is, modern technology could easily solve most of these administrative issues. Real-time data sharing between agencies, automated death notifications, and better database management could virtually eliminate the delayed notification problems that create these overpayments. But improving boring administrative systems doesn't make for exciting headlines or political talking points. Here's what you need to understand. The current system, while not perfect, is remarkably secure and efficient. The actual fraud rate is minimal, especially when compared to other large-scale financial systems. The problems being highlighted are largely administrative and technical, not criminal. But the narrative being pushed suggests something far more sinister. It implies that Social Security is a broken system hemorrhaging money to fraudsters. This simply isn't supported by the evidence, but it serves the political agenda of those who want to fundamentally restructure or privatize the program. When you hear claims about Social Security fraud, ask yourself, what percentage of total spending does this represent? Is this actual criminal fraud or administrative inefficiency? Who benefits from making Social Security look broken or unreliable? These questions will help you cut through the noise and focus on facts. The stakes here are enormous. Social Security represents the most successful anti-poverty program in American history. It's lifted millions of seniors out of poverty and provided economic security for disabled Americans and surviving family members. Undermining confidence in this program based on misleading fraud statistics isn't just wrong, it's dangerous. We also need to be honest about what real reform looks like. If we want to improve Social Security's efficiency, we should invest in better technology, streamline administrative processes, and improve interagency communication. If we want to address long-term funding challenges, we should have honest conversations about revenue and benefits, not get distracted by overblown fraud claims. The bottom line is this: don't let manufactured crises distract from real solutions. The Social Security Administration's claims about saving $100 million from fraud prevention sound impressive, until you realize it's less than 0.01% of total spending. Most of these savings come from fixing administrative delays and database errors, not catching criminal masterminds. Your Social Security benefits are more secure than these headlines suggest. The real threats to the program come from those who want to use misleading statistics to justify radical changes, not from the minimal fraud that actually exists. Stay informed, demand transparency, and don't let fear-mongering about fraud undermine one of America's most important social programs. Your financial future depends on separating fact from fiction when it comes to Social Security. Thanks for watching Financial Area. If this video opened your eyes to how fraud statistics can be manipulated to serve political agendas, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that cuts through the financial misinformation. And remember, when someone tells you Social Security is broken, ask to see the real numbers. You might be surprised by what you find. What do you think about these Social Security fraud claims? Have you seen misleading headlines about Social Security being broken or bankrupt? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Financial Area for more videos that expose the truth behind financial headlines. Until next time, stay informed and stay skeptical.